Thank you for joining me today. I am Dave Hultin, and I am your AI for Printers workshop host. And we're going to tackle something every printer in this workshop has dealt with. Now, before I tell you what it is, let me ask you this. Think of the last time a customer told you they could get it cheaper somewhere else, and you had no real idea whether that was true. You sharpened your pencil, you dropped your price, or you lost the job, and you never actually knew where you stood. Now, hold on to that feeling for a moment, because whatever that last lost quote looked like, today is about making sure the next one goes differently. So to do that, let me introduce you to Ray. Ray is a fictitious printer, but his situation will sound familiar. He's run his commercial print shop for 18 years, and he's handled sales and pricing himself. It's a Wednesday afternoon. Ray just got off the phone with a longtime customer who said he could get a run of envelopes and letterhead cheaper online. Ray said he'd sharpen his pencil and call back. Now he's staring at the quote, wondering whether the online price is really the better deal or whether he's about to leave money on the table for no reason. Ray competes against the same few local shops and the online printers his customers can pull up on their phones. He's lost jobs to all of them, but he has never once sat down and compared his shop to any of them on anything. And here's the part that stings. He bids against 5 or 6 of these competitors on a regular basis. He has lost real jobs to them, and he's never worked out where he's genuinely better and where he's behind. That competitive picture lives in his head as scattered impressions, never on paper, never used on purpose. Ray didn't need to drop his price. He needed to know on paper where his shop actually wins, so he could stop guessing every time a customer waved another quote at him. So we're going to be interactive in today's workshop, so let's practice some of that interactivity now. How many of you can relate to Ray? So go ahead and find that chat tool on your meeting software there. Looks like a little cartoon bubble. Open up that chat, and if you've ever felt like Ray, just drop a yes in there. Let me see that you're on the meeting with me. All right, we got a few Rays in the crowd. There's a handful. Yeah, I think we've all been there. We've all had our Ray moments. So what Ray learned is the problem was never his price. What he actually needed was a way to know his competitors instead of just guessing at them, so he could see where his shop already wins. Most printers need the same thing. Most shops price and pitch against competitors they've actually never sized up, and the why use us pitch runs on gut feel. When a customer says they can get it cheaper somewhere else, you're guessing at whether that's even true and guessing at whether to hold the price or drop it. And the result is discounting out of reflex on jobs the shop was already winning and losing a few it should have kept, all because the competition lives in the owner's head instead of on paper. Now, that's actually good news because a benchmark is something you can build, and we're going to build it together over these next 30 minutes. So here's what today is really about. Marketing Ideas for Printers helps your company grow by making you the printer that runs AI with structure while everyone else is still guessing, so your sales and marketing actually move forward. So in the next 30 minutes, you'll get a real feel for what working with an AI workflow is like. You'll get the workflow itself. We'll use it together. You can take it with you and finish running it for your shop after the workshop. It's a real working tool that you will be putting to use today. Now, let's take a moment to orient ourselves. There is a simple version of this prompt. You probably heard me talk about it at aiforprinters.com or through my posts on LinkedIn. That will size up one competitor you lose to the most. Now, some of you have asked for the upgraded version. That one will score your whole competitive set. Now, we'll take a quick look at both, and then we'll get to the AI workflow version, which is what today is really about. That's the one that gives you your whole competitive playbook and, more importantly, gives you momentum. So here's the simple prompt. Don't use it. It's just too basic, and there's just too much freedom for AI to wander in the way it responds. but it is a useful reference point. Take a note at how short it is, because that's really the way most people use AI today. Just a quick question and let AI respond to you. Now, here's the upgraded version of that prompt. This prompt takes on a specific role. This prompt says competitive strategy advisor for commercial printing company. So right there, that's an improvement. And it asks you to provide more context. So there is more structure, so you're going to get better results. And that's the start of the pattern that you'll see. The more you give AI to work with, the more structure it has, the happier you'll be with the results. And this is the one you came here for. This is the competitor benchmark report workflow prompt. This is what guides AI to do real work with you step by step. It helps you see where you win and where you're behind, when to hold your price, when to simplify the quote, and when to walk away. It gives you the exact words to use when a customer says that they can get it cheaper online. Now, this prompt looks a lot longer than the others, and the reason is because it is a lot longer than the others. And to be clear, that doesn't mean it's harder for you. It means AI has more to work with, which actually means there are fewer decisions for you to make to get quality work done. So I've done the heavy lifting here. I've put the time and effort into building this so you don't have to, and you get to benefit from that work. So just know that you don't have to read it. You don't have to understand how it's written. You just copy it and paste it and let it ask you what it needs. And we'll do that in just a few moments. But first, let's put some numbers on this. And I want to be clear up front, these are our fictitious printer Ray's numbers from his run of the workflow. So it's not a promise. Your mileage may vary, but I can tell you, you will get some amazing results that you maybe didn't expect. The workflow helps your shop score its own competitors, whoever they are. So if we look at that, row one, that's the number of competitors benchmarked. Without AI, Ray had sized up exactly 0 of them. It was all gut feel and secondhand stories. With the workflow, he had his whole competitive set scored on the metrics that decided a quote. The second row, the cost to build it. A benchmark like this is the kind of thing a consultant would charge a few $1,000s to put together and take several weeks. In Ray's case, he built his in minutes of AI time, no consultant needed. And the third row, this one matters too. The confidence at the quote. Without AI, Ray was just guessing whether to hold his price or drop it every time a customer pushed back. With the workflow, he had a rule: when to defend the price, when to simplify the quote, and when to let the job go. That's a giant leap in what we can expect from AI, and we're going to work through it together right now. So it is hands-on time. So get ready with your favorite AI tool. That could be ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. And if you don't have a favorite yet, just go to chatgpt.com and create an account. It takes about 30 seconds, and the free version will work for everything we'll be doing today. Now, when you see the workflow prompt, it's going to be tempting just to copy and paste and go. But there are 2 things I want to point out before you get started. So wait for me so that we can all start together. And I want to be very clear about the goal of this hands-on part of the workshop. Workflow prompts are more thorough than simple prompts, so they run longer. And the goal is not to finish it right now. You can do that later today. The goal we're after is for you to get a feel of what it's like to work with an AI workflow prompt. So let's get started, and let me get that link. You can see it as step 1. You go to mi4p.com/workflow, and I will drop that in the chat just to make it easy to get there. And when you get there, you're going to see a button like this, copy the workflow. You just click that and you will have the workflow ready to go. And just copy that workflow. And then we're going to paste it into your chat. I invented a new word today, tab splatter. The more I use AI, the more I'm hunting around for all the tabs that I've got open here. So it really is as simple as copy and paste. So once you have that workflow prompt, just copy it, paste it into your AI chat. Don't worry about how long it is. Just let it get started. And so I do want to show you those first two things before I turn you loose. And the first thing is this. What's on the screen is every AI workflow in the ones that we provide from AI for printers. It will start like this, where it'll outline the steps. In this case, it's saying it's going to introduce itself, and I'm being the fictitious Ray here. Ray, I'm ready to help you as your commercial printing sales and marketing expert. We'll build a practical competitor benchmark you can use when customers challenge your pricing. And it says we'll work through the 6 steps. It lists those steps, and then it says it'll turn it into a playbook for us. But here's the thing, the first thing I want you to see is, would you like a brief summary of the concepts behind this process first? You don't need to take that summary, but it is kind of a handy thing. So I just want you to see that. So if you paste it in and then you type in summary, it will indeed give you that summary. And so if this is a topic that's maybe new or maybe a little unfamiliar or just want to brush up the knowledge, there's a way you can do it. You get some instant education. This one is kind of a short one here, and that's all right. We can push it as deep as we want. But then we get into step 1. I'm going to turn you loose in just a moment, but I do want to show you step 1. And so are you ready to begin step 1? And of course we are. We get to be very conversational with our AI, and AI will ask us for the information it needs. And so that's what I want you to see is each one of these steps, it is going to ask us for information. It is going to process that information, and then it's going to repeat back and saying, here's what I understand. Are we in agreement on step 1 or whichever step we're on? So that's the part I want you to know, is that each step, that's your checkpoint. You are the quality control. You work through each step one at a time. And I'm going to do that now. And so with that, I'm going to turn you loose, and I'm just going to go awkwardly silent for a few moments so that you can test out the workflow. Please be interactive. So go ahead as you are working through your version of that workflow. If you have questions or comments, open up your microphone or send a note through the chat. I'll be happy to interact with you. So I'll go on my screen a little bit here. I'll give you about 4 or 5 minutes, and we'll just work through this together. Just one thing to note is, of course, this is going to kind of self-personalize to your use of that. So as you're going along, I would like to ask you, if you're noticing something that's interesting or helpful or unexpected, go ahead and drop that into the chat so we can share that with the group. So go ahead and continue your use of that here. Okay, Bert, I see your comment in the chat. Thanks for sharing that. We'll talk about that as we continue. If anyone else has any comments on your use of the prompt, please go ahead and share that. And just a reminder, you can always open up your microphone and ask for questions or provide any feedback. Happy to do that. And remember, our goal is just to be very conversational, let AI lead us, and have some of those thoughtful responses. We'll go just a couple more minutes. And again, I'd like to ask if you are running that prompt, what are you noticing? What are the standout moments? Okay, I did not notice. I see, Dan, you have shared your screen. My fault. I did not notice that here. So let me see what you have here. And my way of looking at it is kind of smaller. Actually, I might just be seeing my own version of that screen. My apologies. I maybe misread that a bit here. Okay, let's wrap up this part of this. And I'm going to actually bring up a pre-run version of this. And the pre-run version of this, if we go all the way through it. Now, one thing I find that's interesting, if we think about that simple prompt, quick answer in, quick answer out, it takes a little longer to get through this. So it is worth setting some thoughtful time to the side to get to this point. And if you thoughtfully go through each one of those questions, the time that you put into it is just going to exponentially provide value that you would not otherwise have here. But you will get to the point where you have a playbook at the end. So if we run through that, we're going to end up with your competitor benchmark playbook, the objective, the operating process. And this is what mine looked like. Yours will be different. And to Bert's point, Bert, thank you for sharing your comments in the chat earlier. Bert, you said mine looks a little different. I might have more thinking happening. But from previous sessions, it is already giving me a list of competitors I may have mentioned before, which is pretty accurate. That is an incredibly important point to make, because by the time we get to the end of this, as it's added layers of information at each step, it is customized based on what it already knows about you. And when you get to the point of this playbook, you are going to have a very, very valuable document, because it has very thoughtfully self-customized it through the work that we're doing here. So we get to the point where we have that playbook, and AI then gives us 3 optional paths to continue. And we just keep on going as long as AI is providing that value here. Okay, that's the hands-on part. Again, you may almost certainly have not finished it, but I wanted to make sure that we got a taste of what we're doing here. And let's take a look at what you just experienced. You just got a feel for what working with an AI workflow written specifically for printers is like. You didn't finish it. That's by design. The workflow keeps going from here, and you can finish it later today. What you now know is what the experience is like when AI brings structure to the work. That's what you experience in an AI workflow toolkit membership. And that's a lot different than the experience most printers are having with AI. Now, before I show you everything in the toolkit, let me show you the best path to follow to get started in that toolkit. And so we just looked at one workflow, but here's where we suggest that you start. And I don't have my screen up here. I'm sorry about that. Let me pull that back up front. There we go. The starting point that we are suggesting is these 3 workflows. The target account list workflow, that helps you focus on the right prospects. The prospecting email templates workflow will kickstart your sales conversations, and the sales playbook to lead prospects through your sales process. That's your first 30 days. And if you go through just those 3 workflows in those first 30 days, that will give you an amazing starting point. Everything else, like the workflow we just looked at, is still there so that you can use it later. at the time of your choice. Now, once you've got those 3 workflows working, here's what else is available. You'll find more than 60 productivity tools to help you with lead generation, customer management, sales process, marketing strategy, and a lot more. Each workflow is built specifically for printers and will help you do your daily work better and faster. And then added to that, there are over 60 performance workflows to help you improve what's working. Things like increasing your sales conversion rate, improving retention and marketing ROI, and enhancing your team productivity. Each workflow is built around the thinking of an expert in that specific area. So you're getting thousands of dollars of world-class consultant-level advice based on the wisdom of that expert in the field. So productivity gets the work done. Performance makes the work better. And the execution piece is the roundtable rhythm. Every other Thursday, members do exactly what we just started to do here together. We'll pick a workflow just like the one we used a few moments ago. We run it together. We share what works. We help each other apply it. And if you're just getting started in the toolkit, we'll run the target account list workflow to make sure you get started in the right direction. And here's the big win. You will find that you're growing in a community of printers using AI with structure. When we worked through the competitor benchmark report workflow a few minutes earlier, you got a taste of what the existing members will experience at this afternoon's roundtable. So all 3 of those pieces work together. Productivity gets the daily work done, performance improves what's working, and execution keeps it moving. That's what produces results. And really, that's what we're after. We're not just doing AI for the sake of using AI. We are after results. And this is the path that helps you use AI to get results. So there are 2 ways forward, and both of those are strong options. Path A is the AI Workflow Toolkit membership. If today felt like a clear fit, that's how you continue. Just look at what we just accomplished in our short time together today. The simple prompt sizes up the one competitor you lose to the most. The prompt upgrade scores your whole list of competitors. And today's workshop, that's where you build the whole playbook. And in Ray's case, that meant his full list of competitors are all scored with a rule for when to hold the price and when to walk away. That's the difference between guessing at every quote and knowing exactly where you win. Now, the workshop builds this system once, but the AI Workflow Toolkit membership, that gives you your whole workflow library and a roundtable every 2 weeks where we go deep one-on-one together. That's where your shop keeps turning workflows into competitive wins instead of just stopping at a single benchmark. So in your first 30 days as a member, you'll have the full AI workflow library and 2 roundtables that go deep on the workflows with you. That keeps your competitive edge that you built at this workshop, that keeps that moving forward. And that's how you move forward quickly and efficiently. It's $199 a month or $19.99 for the year. And you'll know in the first month or 2 if this is being helpful. So you can cancel at any time. And the link to do that is mi4p.com/start-AI. And I'll drop that into the chat so you have that at your fingertips. Now, path B is the print growth assessment. So if today made sense, but you're not quite sure where this fits in your shop, my team will spend 30 minutes with you free to help you figure that out. Just drop your name and email into the chat and we'll follow up. The assessment, that covers AI as well as all of the services from Marketing Ideas for Printers, and we'll help you figure out the right next move across any of our services. So pick whichever one feels like the best fit for you. Both of those are real next steps. So if you are ready to stop using AI as a toy and start using it for meaningful work, then remember what I said at the start. Marketing Ideas for Printers helps your company grow by making you the printer that runs AI with structure while everyone else is still guessing, so your sales and marketing actually move forward. That's it. That's the path that we're on. Now, remember Ray? His story doesn't have to be your story. The next time a customer says they can get it cheaper somewhere else, you already know where you stand because you'll have the benchmark in front of you. You stop guessing and you start pricing and pitching with confidence. Your shop is the one that wins the jobs it should win. So here's your one job. Before you leave today, pick the one competitor you lose to the most, run the competitor benchmark report workflow this week, size that one competitor up. You don't have to benchmark the whole set at once. You just have to get one rival out of your head and onto paper where you can do something about it. So to wrap things up, I'd like to share why I do these workshops. I'm doing this because I've spent my career helping printers succeed, and I've never seen a shift like AI. There's a big divide forming. Printers running with AI with structure, they're on one side. Printers still guessing are on the other, and I want to make sure you're on the right side. Marketing Ideas for Printers helps your company grow by making you the printer that runs AI with structure while everyone else is still guessing, so your sales and marketing are actually moving forward. That's why we built the AI Workflow Toolkit membership, and that's why I'm here today. That's why I want to make sure to take what you saw and what you experienced and put it to work this week. So you are not Ray anymore. You have the tools now. You have the ability to move forward with more confidence with your pricing and your quote. So that brings us to the end of the workshop itself. Everything you need to start using today's competitor benchmark report workflow, that's now complete. The link to get started is on the screen. That's mi4p.com/start-AI. Without structure, this becomes just one more good idea that fades. With structure, you've got a system. If you're watching the recording, you are in a good place to take what you've seen today and apply it on your own time. For those of you that are here live, I'm going to stop the recording and stick around for a few minutes. I can answer your questions and help you think through about how this applies to your business. Thanks for attending and stick around as I end the recording.